Straight
Okay, are we good?
Chicken's butt.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Filipino Freethinkers podcast. That's also a video, Raw. I'm Red,
I'm Pecier.
And I'm Pepe.
and the reason I called it Raw is because this topic just popped up, and we decided just now before he hit record that we would discuss this topic instead of that other topic that we were going to discuss. So the topic that I'm talking about is interesting enough that it actually eclipsed that other topic. So without further ado, it's about strangers kissing. If you haven't seen that video yet, here's a link to it. But I'm pretty sure that if you are on Facebook, you've seen that video. You've seen it on your wall. You've seen it on an Upworthy post or a Viral Nova or Thought Catalog or whatever. People have written about it, and you've seen it. So, in case you haven't, this is what it's like. So, Pecier, you're not exactly a stranger. So I know you, but
Yeah, okay.
we would have done it
It's not gonna be the
if he
same.
were a stranger.
Yeah.
We would have done it.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any awkwardness. Like in the strangers video, it was
But
awkward.
that would be different. We aren't models. So that's the thing. That's the thing about it. When you watch it, okay, let's first of all discuss our personal reactions to it. You begin, Pecier. You're wearing red, the color of passion and love.
Yeah,
so
this
and
is
you
red, I
like
don't know.
kissing.
Strangers.
Yeah. Okay. What did you think of the video?
Well, I like just purely subjective, non-rational reaction that I did not give a second thought to. I liked it. Period. Like I can't add any more to it. I like the awkwardness of it. I like those tense situations. It was not, in fact, the kissing part that I liked. It was the awkwardness. Like for example, one of my favorite film scenes would be that elevator scene in Lost in Translation, where they were about to kiss. You could feel the sexual tension brewing.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to do it? Are they not? That's what I liked. So when they finally kissed, I thought it was like, okay,
So that was the
strangers kissing.
release. That was the release.
Kind of, yes.
You know,
for me, the fun part was the fact that they were strangers, and they were thinking, is this gonna be good for the other person? I guess. Am I gonna like this? Stuff like that.
Okay. What about you?
Well, I had a lot of questions racing through my head. Like, well, first of all, I found it nice because like it's kinda in line with the idea of free love and the idea that if two people are attracted to each other, they should not be afraid to like show affection and so on. But in this case, it's not exactly free love because it was set up, di ba? Parang they're not. It was orchestrated by the directors and the producers of the video. Like, okay, these people will kiss, these people will kiss. So it's not that spontaneous. But it was interesting then, kasi I saw how much body language conveyed in the especially in the parts before and actually even during the kissing.
Yeah.
You could see like, oh, these people
Are into it.
are into it. Like these people not so much. Like you could say like, and there's a lot that you could feel just through seeing and not really hearing them talk. So that's another interesting thing. And the last thing that crossed my mind was like just hygienic health concerns. Like, did they brush their teeth before this? Were they checked for any, I don't know, communicable diseases? But that's past the first reaction, which was, wow, this is something cool.
But you mentioned something that I feel is very important there, that it was set up. There were directors,
Yeah.
there were producers, because apparently this cast of characters in this short video, they were all models of some sort,
Or actors, yeah.
or actors.
Yeah.
You know, so it puts into question how genuine the feelings actually were. And they were selected. They were selected to promote a clothing line, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it's about promoting a clothing line. So that kind of removes some of the magic or the kilig factor out of it. You know, it adds a commercial angle to the whole thing. It again, and of course the association of sex selling merchandise. You know, and the commodification of sex plays into the picture, because if it were really as spontaneous as we have that romantic idea that, hey, like these strangers, they don't know each other, but they're expressing that kind of love. Maybe it's not as good as we would hope. And we're even now, as we're talking about this, we're even taking the perspective of someone who's very liberal, someone who's very progressive. Because a lot of people, when they see this, they would be like, they're sharing an experience that's usually reserved for people who are in committed relationships. No one would usually do that so casually. Would you do that so casually? Like if I offered you to be in this shoot of free thinkers, like kissing each other, would you participate?
Yeah, I would.
You would.
Yeah.
Like no questions asked. Like you don't even know who these people are going to be.
Like, I guess I will have a high tolerance for who those people are. I have a larger set of people I would kiss than most.
What about you?
There. So, of course, I would have a limited number of people, but of course,
Of course not. I'm in a committed
okay.
relationship.
Okay,
So, it's a different
I would be so gung ho about it. I'm just joking, and I'm still alive. I'm married, of course. But anyway, yeah. But that speaks of how progressive you actually are. That you would participate in something like that. A lot of people, though, they would not welcome or not be as welcoming of the idea, and people would react to this in different ways. I saw many people on my wall expressing positive reactions to this and wanting to bring it to the Philippines. But would something like that even work in the Philippines? I think. Do you think it would work in the Philippines? Like a project like that?
I don't think it would. Like, I saw like free hugs here in the Philippines, people offering free hugs, and if you compare that to similar activities elsewhere in the world, like, yeah, especially in the Western societies, it's not like people hesitate more, and you see that there are barriers being broken still, like thicker barriers than I guess in other societies.
What about you?
That's just my.
Would the MTRCB or the CBCP
Yeah.
even allow something like that?
I think they would. A lot of conservative groups, I think, would be up in arms against this kind of, anonymous intimacy.
Yeah.
And my main concern would be the health thing, talaga. If you're just like free,
Yeah, it might
free
go
make
viral.
out sessions, of course that may pose a public health risk. If one of the first persons you make out with has like
Oh yeah,
a
that's
virus or something, and then you end up kissing a lot of other people, then you just spread a disease. So
Okay.
that's
So
what-
barring that,
Yeah.
like let's say that there are no health concerns, there are no like cheating concerns, like I mean none of the people are married or anything like that, and removing the whole commercial aspect of it. Let's say that some independent developer or producer decided to do that as a project to see the actual reactions of people. I think it would make for a richer experience even for the people there.
I agree.
If it's blind, like they go into it and they're not models. They're total strangers taken from different walks of society, from different backgrounds. And I don't know, like when someone sees somebody else and thinks, I wouldn't want to kiss that person even if they paid me $10,000. And then the possibility for the not kissing or for the rejection is there.
Yeah.
I think it heightens it raises the stakes.
It would be
Yeah.
a lot more interesting.
Absolutely.
I would see that.
And and if someone like actually does kiss, then it would really mean something. Because for attractive people to see each other and then to kiss each other, there's a minimum of hesitation there.
Yeah, I think the hesitation they displayed in the video was indeed minimal. Like they just hesitated for. I guess of course they edited it, but I think even accounting for the editing of the video, I think their hesitation lasted for only 10 minutes, which is pretty short for the fact that they're supposedly strangers. And you don't hesitate for only 10 minutes. If it's a stranger, right? You should hesitate for a lot longer.
So there was some hesitation, some minimum of hesitation. But if I were in their place, and I was in front of this attractive person, and it was going to be for something fun and positive, then I would kiss this person. So there's nothing wrong. Like for the people like on this table, if it weren't for a commercial purpose, no commodification there. It's just a project of, sharing the joys of something very positive. It's, it's kissing. It's an enjoyable thing. It's usually reserved for romantic couples, for married couples even. But who says that it should be reserved for those kinds of people? People that you meet on Tinder or Grindr or, what taboo is there that prevents people from expressing themselves physically towards someone that they're attracted to in that kind of way? You know what? Traditionally, I'll make a, it's it's just babies, essentially. I think, the whole sexual act of it, because one thing leads to another, like kissing is the gateway action
Yeah.
that leads to second base and third base, and then the home run, and then there's a baby. And that used to be the case, when contraception wasn't as common yet. And in some places of the world, it is still not as common. Like sex would equate to babies.
Yeah.
But now we've reached like a period in our development as a society where sex does not necessarily mean babies. That physical intimacy does not necessarily mean sex.
Yeah.
And we have so many options. And who says that kissing equals babies?
Yeah.
And of course, what the Catholic Church would want you to do is to get married first before you can express all of these feelings in a physical way.
Yeah, but I would be interested in listening to their objections to the kissing part.
Yeah.
Because it would be fun watching them trying to justify, trying to give very rational, concrete reasons on why this kind of thing is not good, is immoral, is wrong for people to do. Again, barring the chance that there is a hygienic reason for not doing it. So if there is no hygienic, if everyone is known to be clean, I would like to hear what they have to say, why it's wrong. Because it'll be interesting, because I think the main reason why they don't want this is non-rational, but of course they'll try to rationalize it.
Yeah.
So of course they'll say something
It'll
like,
reveal,
you're expressing lust for someone who is not your wife, and that's not a good thing because you should reserve such feelings and emotions for your wife, even if it's just the kissing. And like such actions
Should lead to babies.
will lead, will
Ideally,
eventually,
should lead to babies.
should lead to
In their
babies.
eyes.
Yeah, like mutual.
it's part of the whole package
Yeah.
in their metaphysics.
It's part of the whole package. There's no such spectrum of actions. It's always a package. And the package of kissing involves the groping, the petting, the necking, the pearl necklace, and then of course the sex. So let's take this even further. Just to test how progressive or how liberal you guys actually are. Like if the video were a not safe for work kind of video where strangers having sex, was the whole theme of the thing. Strangers having sex. Like, do you think that it would still be as you would still have the same reactions of the kilig, the awkwardness, giving you the giddy emotions, or would you react differently? It's sex now. Like
Yes.
these are strangers. Okay, let's so just so that we isolate that it's the sex is the variable here. They would still be models. They would still be relatively attractive. There would still be no health concerns.
concerns.
These people have been checked. They're using protection. They're on the pill,
safe.
male female condom or what have you. There, what do you think? What would your reaction be? Can you imagine that first? I'll let you imagine.
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
well, I don't know. It's hard to react, but I guess my initial reaction, and again, this is not a rational reaction, obviously, and I'll have to school my intuitions. Like I have to think. Like that's usually the case. I see things. I react in a certain way. I was conservative for a greater portion of my life, in fact. I became liberal only when I was 22. And I'm 26 right now, so that's just 4 years of being. Was my math right? Yeah. 4 years of being liberal.
Not a mathematician,
Yeah,
scientist over here.
so my intuition would be sometimes it's still one of, like, for example, when I see certain people doing liberal stuff, my initial reaction is sometimes disgust.
Sex is a liberal
Yeah,
stuff.
doesn't use-
There's some liberal stuff coming out of
Yeah,
your.
let's do some liberal stuff.
Liberal, or okay, open stuff that is
Yeah.
usually taboo in Philippine society, the culture I grew up in, and that is my usual first reaction. And then my second reaction is usually to pause for a moment, think about it, and ask myself, why was that my reaction? Was that a rational reaction? Was that a justified reaction? What should my reaction be? For example, if my initial reaction was, hey, they're strangers, they shouldn't be having sex, that's wrong. That's my first reaction. Then my next reaction would be, why am I thinking it's wrong? Perhaps I'm wrong in thinking that it's wrong. Perhaps there's nothing wrong. And I have to ruminate over it. Having said that, my first reaction to the
Strangers having sex,
to the
yeah.
strangers having sex, to the new permutation would be, I actually like it. Like just imagining it. But for the people, if I were there, like, for example, if I'm attractive,
And I'm sure many people find you attractive.
Really?
Right, guys? Like, comment. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
and I think that's a very irrational thing in my part. I would like watching it, like I would enjoy seeing it, but being there, being one of the people involved, I think would change it drastically for me.
So there's still some apprehension on your
Yes,
part.
there
you
is
know?
a lot of apprehension.
And you
And
admit
again-
that it's really a very conditioned response.
Yes, it is. It is, and I have to think about it. I have to train myself and be rational and abstract about it before I could, justify this apprehension if it is justified, and see that this apprehension is not justified, or argue
What about you?
against it.
Well,
You've imagined it longer than he has.
yeah.
So,
Well, the whole time you were talking, I was just imagining.
yeah, you were kind of quiet for a bit
Was he
there.
smiling? Was he?
I
Well,
noticed. Yeah, go ahead.
I think
There's some liberal stuff on your.
Okay.
Okay,
What
go,
do you think?
go
I feel
ahead.
like
Sex
the
is
killing
liberal.
factor would still be there.
Uh-huh.
It's just followed by more feelings,
Ah.
like a boner or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
Physical reactions.
Yeah,
That's a good reaction, right? A positive reaction.
A boner means
Yeah.
you're healthy, your circulation is good.
But like that's
It's a positive thing.
provided that the people involved in the act that you're watching are attractive. Because for me, I can see it's entirely possible if the people in the act who were not attractive, then I would feel like don't really want to watch this. I'm not into this kind of stuff. So like
It's not liberal enough for me.
I'll skip forward
That's a
to
new
the
thing,
other
man.
liberal stuff.
Okay.
That's more to my liking, but it's a subjective thing.
No, yeah,
it's not
yeah.
something I consciously choose to
Yeah.
dislike or like. But it's just like, for example, if the people are particularly old, then I wouldn't find that as attractive, diba? So it's all a subjective thing, and it's very gut
Yeah.
Yeah.
gut
Same
feel.
here.
Yeah,
But with regards to like ethically,
yeah.
I wouldn't find anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
With that kind of thing being done, so long as it's all consensual,
Yeah.
and there's no health risk involved, it's fine. Let's have
No people get hurt.
Let them have their fun.
So whether it's enjoyable for you is a subjective thing
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you realize, and you see that's why I often make the comparison or the analogy. Why do we treat sex or kissing as something we give it that special status as different from something like talking
Yeah.
or having playing sports with another person, removing
Tennis.
the possibility of babies with contraception and the possibility of transmitting sexually transmitted disease, again because of protection, and the all of the other commodification, the issues of commodification or coercion. Why should it be any different as any other activity that you can participate in with someone consensually and for your enjoyment? And when two smart people or three smart, handsome people are having a conversation, people could enjoy watching that. And why should it be any different from people having sex? And there are still many things that we haven't discussed yet. Again, this is Filipino Free Thinkers Podcast. It's also a video raw.
Raw.
We've never thought about these things until
I've
now.
just-
But if you want to continue the discussion with us, we're having a meetup on Sunday, and the details are all on this link. You're all welcome to attend. It's
See you
free, it's consensual, lots of liberal stuff for everyone, and we hope that you'll be there. Till next time, thank you for watching.
Bye.
Liberal stuff. Bye-bye.